Hey again everyone. I'm trying to get a different place in my room to make videos. Can't help it, I just keep moving around the room. Now I'm going to be doing the Bookalicious tag. The Bookalicious is a collab channel and they tagged me like 2 days ago, and this is the first time I've got around to making the video. It's quite a long tag, 25 questions, so I'll try and keep this video as short and sweet as possible. They actually tagged me, but you don't have to actually be named to be tagged, so if you watch this video, just consider yourself tagged, and if you want to make a video, make a video. Okay, question 1 is, what percentage of books do you get from the library and what percentage do you buy? I would say that I buy 99% of my books, probably 99.9%, because the libraries near me don't have a big selection of YA. They tend to get more adult books, especially new ones. So if there's a YA book coming out that I want to read, I tend to have to buy it to get to read it. Occasionally I go to the library and there's adult books, but I haven't been to the library in months. So yeah, 99.9% I would say. What character would you like to be and why? I would like to be Willow Fields from Angel by L.A. Weatherly, because that's my favourite book and I like her as a character. I think L.A. Weatherly writes her really well, and she's a really unique character. She's half angel, half human, psychic, but she uses her gifts for good. Plus she gets a really hot guy in Alex. I'm just vain like that, I suppose. 3. What is your favourite book from your childhood? Ella Enchanted by Gail Carson Levine. I loved that book so much, I still read it now. It's probably the book I've reread the most on my entire shelf. It's a great book, it's a great take on Cinderella, and I highly recommend it. Question 4. What is your favourite book? That's Angel by L.A. Weatherly. It's an amazing book, I love it and I can't wait for the next one. I literally devoured that book, it was amazing. Question 5. What series do you have the most of? Well, there's 3 series that I have the same amount of books in. I have 10 books. The Morganville Vampire series, 1 to 10. The Princess Diaries by Meg Cabot, all of them. And all the books so far in an adult series by Cresley Cole called the Immortals series. Question 6. Do you buy used books or use swap.com? I don't use swap.com and I don't tend to buy used books. I just don't seem to. Question 7. Who's your favourite / hottest guy in a book? I really like Varen from Nevermore by Kelly Craig, because he's a really unique character, because he's a goth guy, which don't get written much in YA books. Even if they're paranormal books, they don't tend to be goth, so I really like him. He stands out amongst other characters, and he also comes up with these really great sarcastic, witty comments, and that's the sort of thing that I would come out with, and that's why I like him. Hottest guy would be Alex from Angel, because I completely fell in love with him. I really did. I really liked him. Question 8. What is your favourite cover? I did a video on this and I said Halo by Alexandra Adornetto, but it's kind of got competition now from Hereafter by Tara Hudson. I love both those covers. I think they're both amazing covers. Question 9 is, what is your favourite type of book cover and why? I like the really bright covers, like Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins. It has an amazing purple hardcover, and then it has bright greens and bright whites, and it's just a really standout book cover, and that's why I like it. If you go into a bookstore and you see it on the shelf, it would just really stand out and grab you, whereas some just sort of fade into the background and you don't necessarily pick them out straight away. Whereas if you walked into a shop and you saw that, it would just grab you. Okay. Question 10. What was the first book you read? This was probably a collection of fairy tales. One of those just classic fairy tale books that has all the fairy tales in it. That was probably the first book I read. Question 11 is, what is your favourite book to movie adaptation? Without doubt, The Princess Bride. I absolutely love that film. It is hilarious. It's got something for everybody. It's got romance, it's got action, it's got comedy. It's an amazing, amazing film, and I love it. In case you can't tell. 12. When did you start making videos for YouTube? April. I started making videos. So about 3 months now. Yeah. 13. Where's the best place to read books and why? For me, it's either my room or my living room because they're the comfiest, most peaceful places to read that you can just snuggle down and read without being disturbed most of the time. Number 14. Have you ever written a fan fiction for a book you liked? No, I haven't. I tend to imagine where the story would go after I finish the book, but I've never actually written a fan fiction. Number 15. If you could read only 3 books for the rest of your life, what would they be? Angel by L.A. Weatherly, with it being my favourite book. And then 2 adult books actually. Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. Strictly adult book, but it's one of my favourites. And another adult book by Meg Cabot, Boy Meets Girl. Hilarious book. I love how she sets it out as like emails and stuff like that. Really, really quick read, but it's so funny. It's just classic Meg Cabot, and I love it. 16. What is the longest book you have read? That would be Breaking Dawn at 754 pages. But after Breaking Dawn, that would be like Archeron by Sherilyn Kenyon at 728 pages, but that's an adult book. If you could write a book, what would the title be and why? I struggled for ages for this because that's a problem of mine. I think of all these stories, but then I struggle to give them titles. But I think the story that I'm thinking of writing at the moment will probably be called Never to Be Told, and it's because I'm going to write like a gothic paranormal type story, whether it be a short story or a longer one, and it's going to revolve around that, like saying about magpies, 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy. That's gonna play some part in a girl's mother's death. Basically, that's my story at the moment, so that's why I would call it that. 18. How many books did you read last month? I don't know for sure how many it is. It's probably along the lines of 7 or 8, around that mark. I don't keep track. And I started my blog in like mid-July, so that doesn't have all the books I read on it either. Whoops. 19. What was the last book you read? That was Caleb and Kate by Cindy Martinussen-Coloma. It's a great book. I really liked it. 20. Have you ever fantasized or imagined yourself in any books? Of course, everybody does that. At the very least, you sort of imagine what you would do if you were that person. But yes, I'd like to think of myself in many, many different books. 21. What is your favourite bookstore? Again, this is hard because I don't tend to buy my books in bookstores because they're so much more expensive. Like Waterstones, I like to go into Waterstones because it's a great atmosphere to be surrounded by books, and there's a coffee shop, it's nice, but actual bookstore wise it would probably be The Works because they have a great selection of discount books, and I do actually buy books from there, so I would have to say The Works. 22. Hardback or paperback? Again, this was hard for me because I like both for different reasons, but I'd have to say in the end paperback because you can fit more on a shelf and they're less expensive, but I like hardbacks as well. 23. Do you have more than one copy of the same book? Yes, I do. I have several copies of Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, and I also have 2 copies of Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. I have the movie cover and the original cover. Only the best book though, I don't have all these covers. 24. What would you rather read about, vampires or werewolves? I'd have to say vampires simply because I have more books about vampires, and I don't know what it is. Plots with vampires just seem to be more interesting to me than plots about wolves. Having said that though, Shiver by Maggie Stavale is one of my favourite books ever, but there just seems to be more about vampires that I like than werewolves. And the last question, 25. Do you own more than 150 books? Yes, I do, and at a rough count it was about 443, give or take a few. So, yeah, but I might have miscalculated or miscounted. Yeah, that's the Bookalicious tag, and thanks to them for tagging me. I liked trying to figure out all the answers to these questions, and happy reading.